believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows.
Hey y'all, it's Mercy here with Liam Owens of Sold Out Quartet. Can you tell us a little bit about you and your family?
Well, my name is Liam Owens, and I have a family.
Okay.
Is that enough? No. My name is Ian. Obviously, you covered that already. I sing currently for Sold Out Quartet bass, but I'll be leaving at the end of the year. My family consists of my wife, Megan, of 14 years, and our 3 children. Our oldest is a boy named Liam, and then we have 2 daughters, Taylor and Piper, 11, 8, and 3.
How did you get started in Southern gospel music?
I was raised around Southern gospel music. My grandfather sang bass, my dad sings bass. Actually, he sings bass professionally now with the Blackwood Brothers Quartet. But I was always kind of inundated in Southern gospel music. My papa had local groups, and my dad had regional groups. And actually, my papa sang bass for a quartet of men made up of deacons of the church that I grew up in. And my father, my dad, played bass guitar. Butch Owens is his name, by the way. My papa's name was Bid Owens. And he played bass guitar. And then, as my dad got older, he started a regional quartet. And he sang bass, and I played bass guitar. And then, so I got started. When I turned about 19 years old, I hadn't sung through school. I always played instruments. I was in band. I actually majored in music education. I thought I was going to be a band director. But playing bass guitar for my dad's quartet, he went to sing with a semi-professional group called the Bible Tones and asked me to fill in for him. And so I did. And I sang with him, and I sang locally for about a year. And then the Cumberland Quartet used to be out of Opryland, used to be called the Cumberland Boys. They heard me and gave me an audition. I started singing with them in Branson, Missouri at Silver Dollar City, and I sang on Park there for 2 years, which is how I got my start. That's where I started. And I was there. We did 5 shows a day, 6 days a week. And I met my wife there, actually. My wife was a can-can dancer in the Silver Dollar Saloon, so well done me.
When did you get saved?
I got saved when I was 5 years old in McDowell Road Baptist Church, the church that I grew up in, the same church where my papa had the quartet of deacons. And a lot of people might question, well, that's too young. Are you at the age of accountability? Do you really understand what's going on? But it was a very real experience for me. I can recount the sermon to you. Brother Johnson was our pastor, and he was likening salvation to baseball. And the metaphor was that salvation was rounding the bases, basically making it home. And there was just something came over me. And I know it was the Spirit of God and needing that relationship with Jesus Christ, knowing that He loved me so much, and I wanted to love Him back. And I looked at my dad and said, I want to get saved. He took me down in front of the church, and I accepted Christ.
What is one of your favorite memories with Sold Out?
That one's hard, because there's so many. I mean, these guys are my brothers, they're my family. I love them, and it's been so much fun here. I really just don't know. We've done so many amazing things. I just don't know. The whole 4 years of time that I've been here is my favorite memory. Is that a cop-out, or is that okay?
What is the funniest thing that has happened on stage?
That's hard, too. You ask hard questions. I even had time to look over these questions. I don't know what to say. A lot of funny stuff has happened on stage because we're all idiots. And a lot of stuff is funny that shouldn't be funny. Most stuff that's funny happens on stage is something that we observe in the crowd, and we just really shouldn't repeat. I'll tell you what, one of my funniest things has happened while I've been with Sold Out. It wasn't on stage, it was at the product table. But a lady came up to me, and it wasn't necessarily funny in the moment, but it was hilarious afterwards. But she walked up to me and she looked at me straight in the eye and she said, "Are your CDs as loud as your concerts are?" Just as straight face and deadpan as possible. And I'm not typically speechless. I normally have something to say in response to somebody, but she left me absolutely confounded. I had no idea what to say, but I laugh about that all the time now. Good times.
What is your favorite Bible verse and why?
My favorite Bible verse is Psalms 119, verse 71. And it says, "It is good for me that I've been afflicted, that I may learn your statutes." And the reason it's my favorite Bible verse is, and actually I share that in common with Matt Rankin. because of something that we kind of went through together. And the reason it's my favorite is that I think we lose sight sometimes of the reason God does some of the things that he does, and the fact that we are subject to him, that he is sovereign, that he's in control of everything, and that we are his children. And sometimes children need to be gotten back in line. When my children misbehave, I have to discipline them. It doesn't feel good for me. It certainly doesn't feel good for them, but it's good for them, whether it feels good or not, because it's what makes them into who they ought to be. The Bible talks very strongly about disciplining your children, raising them the way they should go. And we forget sometimes that we need that from God. He afflicts us. We go through afflictions so that we will draw closer to him. These are the times that we start hungering for him and looking for his answers in his word. And David's crying out in this. He says, it's good for me that you've afflicted me, basically, because I can learn more about you. I can come in and I can learn your statutes. I can learn your word. I can learn even more than you have my best interest in.
Can you tell us about the new ministry you're going into?
Yeah, I've had a call in my life for quite a while. It's a real pull on my heart to go into biblical counseling, to be a blessing to people one-on-one, help them heal, work through their problems. I believe that counseling, especially biblical counseling on God's statutes and God's promises, is very, very important. And it's something that there's not an awful lot of, and not super available. It's something that's close to my heart, but I've done this for 16 years. It's hard to make changes sometimes, and the timing had to be right. And this year, God made that timing right. And about July, I felt released, and I knew that it was time to make a change. I went and told Matt. I told him I'd stay on until the end of the year when the group takes a break for the rest of the year. And when they came back in January, they just start fresh without me. But I'll be finishing my degree and hopefully getting on staff at a counseling center or a church. It opens up a lot of doors. I'll be working through my master's, but it opens up a lot of doors for opportunities to feed into people's lives and to bless them.
Thank you for doing this.
You are welcome.
In the darkest night, a candle glows. I believe for everyone.
Hey y'all, it's Mercy here with Liam Owens.
Hi.
What is it like growing up with Liam Owens as your dad?
Well, it's pretty average, except it's not average. He's the best dad I could ever hope for. He has always been there for me. He's always willing to play with me, and he's never left my side.
Thank you.
Someone will call.